Hello everybody, Idaho Garden Girl here, and it's November 28th, and it's such a beautiful day. Look at the beautiful blue sky. Now it's been cold and all the leaves have fallen off of the apple tree, and we've had a couple of cold snaps and some frost, but oh my goodness, the chickens are out here enjoying these apples, and I think I'm going to pick some of these apples. But it's okay to let the frost happen with apples because it forces the sugar into the fruit. You don't want to let them freeze hard, but if they just get a cold snap or a light frost, then it causes the fruit to become very sweet. So I'm just going to start picking these apples. I don't know what variety these are. But they really are tasty. They're very sweet, and I've made pies out of them in the past, and I've made applesauce and all kinds of I've canned all kinds of apple products. Look at that pretty apple, very pretty. And there's a lot of them, a lot of them. Pick that one up. So what am I going to do with all these apples? I think that I am going to dehydrate them. I really enjoy having dehydrated apples, and I can vacuum seal them into jars, and they'll last for at least a year, if not longer. Once they're completely dehydrated, there's no moisture left in them, you can safely vacuum seal them into a jar and keep them for later. Wow, there's a lot of them here. This is awesome. Dehydrated apples make such a great snack. I slice them up, and probably 16 slices make one apple. Oh, look at that one. The chickens get that one. Yeah, 16 slices probably of the apple. Once they're dehydrated, they don't take up much room, but they just make such a nice snack. And you can rehydrate them and make other things with them, like apple crisp and whatever. You can you can make an apple pie. Ooh, that's a nice one. I think maybe one more will fit. Yep, that one. There, that's a nice bucket full. Okay, let's take them in the house. Gotta wash them. Gotta wash them. Wash all the dust and dirt off and any bird poop or anything like that. And now I'm going to cut them into quarters, and then I core it. I cut the core out, and I'm saving all of the cuttings over there in that jar to make some apple cider vinegar. So I cut off the peels, I cut off the skins, and if it's I don't save the skins if they've, I don't use the fruit if the chickens have been pecking it. But anyway, I just kind of cut some even slices, probably about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Then I use this Fruit Fresh to stop the apples from turning so brown. So I just follow the instructions on the back of the little jar, and I mix it up with the water like it says on the container, and I make sure that the apple slices are submerged. Then I set the apple slices on the tray in the dehydrator, and there's 2 sides to the dehydrator tray. One side has these ridges, and that side goes down. The side that faces up is flat. There are no ridges. It's just a grid. And so you just start laying out the apple slices. I try not to overlap them. They might get overlapped a few, but I try not to overlap them, and I try to get as many on there as possible because you'll be surprised at how these things shrink. When they're dehydrating, all the moisture is being removed from the apple slices, and they become much smaller, much smaller. So I try to get them on there, as close as possible without touching. If they touch, it's okay, but they might stick to each other. So I'm just going to speed up here. And there we go. Now we put the lid on it, and then we set the dryer for 135 degrees, and I think about 8 hours. There we go. Now it's going to run for 8 hours. And you can see I've got 6 trays of apple slices to dehydrate. So let's come back in just a second. Look at how they've shrunk. But they're not quite done. See, they're still soft. They're still soft and pliable, which means they have moisture in them. They feel dry, but if they move like that, if they can bend so easily like that, then they have moisture in them. So I'm going to have to let them go longer. Okay, let's see. Those are not done. Not done. All right, how about now? Oh, yeah, there you go. Let's try another one. Yep, that's good. That's good. Yes, that's what I want. I want them to be crisp. I want them to be so dry that they crack. Perfect. Now I'm going to load them into the jar. Load them into the jar. Shake them around to make sure they can fill up all the spaces that you can. This is a quart canning jar, and here's the lid. And I'm going to use the attachment to suck the air out of the jar and use a brake bleeder to do that. There's the attachment, and here's the little hose, and that came with the white lid. And now let's get the brake bleeder here. I just got my brake bleeder from Harbor Freight. And you can see the little needle is going up. I pump it up to 15 pounds of pressure. It's hard to get it to go to the right spot. There we go. There we go. I made it. Okay, now take that. Did you hear that little sound? Okay, now we can take the lid off. And there we go. Now we're going to label it. We're going to label the jar. I'm going to label it Dehydrated Apples, 1 December 2023. And let's get the ring on there. And there we go. And it's sealed. Yay!